Okay guys, now we're gonna work on defense from the neutral position. We've already gone over offensive takedowns and attacks. Now we're gonna be able to prevent our opponent from scoring on our legs using our first lines of defense, and our 3 lines of defense is our head, our hands, and our hips. So if we're in our stance, my first line of defense is my head. And notice how I always keep my head nice and low, and I wanna stay lower than my opponent at all times. So if he shoots and tries to score, I'm just dropping my head down and stepping back my lead leg. So he shoots, he attempts to score, I'm just dropping my head, staying in good position here. He shoots, stepping back my lead leg, head drops, and I'm able to defend. One more time. He shoots, lead leg steps back, head drops, ready to defend. Second line of defense, guys, is our hands. So if this guy penetrates and he gets underneath of our head, we have to be able to defend with our hands. So I'm keeping my hands nice and low for this particular position. He shoots, he gets under my head, my hands are able to pry here and stop this guy. So I'm pushing on the shoulder, keeping weight on the shoulder. I'm not just placing my hands on the top of his back. There's no defense here. I gotta get my thumbs in this guy's armpit and place my hands on his shoulder and keeping pressure on this guy. So we're here, he gets underneath my head, hands, thumbs in the armpit, pressure in this guy, keeping him off, just circling away from my lead leg. Always protecting that lead leg is the most important thing. So he shoots underneath my head, hands push here, keeping this guy off, circling away from my lead leg. Lastly, if he's able to get underneath of my head and my hands, I gotta use my hips. So I wanna meet this guy with pressure of my own and not just drop my hips straight back. I gotta bump my hips inside and meet this guy with pressure. So he gets underneath my head and hands, pressure's in. Notice how my hips are down and in, keeping as much weight as possible. I don't want to turn out and go this way. This guy's gonna keep penetrating. I gotta get my hips down and in. I'm just dropping my hips here. Now from here I can attack and score, or I can be able to defend and back out from this position. So our third line of defense is our hips. So he gets under my hands and head, meaning with pressure of my own, keeping weight over top of the shoulder, weight on this guy's body, weight on his arms here, defending with my hips, and then from here I can run off and score on my own. So one more time. We have head, he shoots, stepping back my lead leg, using my head. Hands, he gets under my head, pushing my hands, defending my lead leg. And lastly, hips. He gets underneath, hips are down and in, hips slide off, defending. And those are our 3 lines of defense.